It's Tactical Tuesdays, man. We back at you, back with another banger. And today, oh wait a minute, have you seen Malcolm, sir? Oh, god damn, bro, that's you. I ain't, no, listen, bro. I didn't know that was you. You got a haircut. I didn't know. That boy got a fade and everything.
Listen, man.
Listen, bro. I didn't
Listen.
know it was you, man. Listen, Tactical
Come
Tuesday.
on, man.
Uncle Malcolm, the real haircut Uncle Malcolm is back in the building, man. And we back with you with another banger today. Another installment of a fan favorite. It's about what would you do? In the intro, you heard the story. Uncle Malcolm, as a small business owner, you are a small business owner, and you own 51% of PSA. You know, the conglomerate known as PSA.
Right.
You know, but as a small business owner, you are inside working. Two people run in. What do you do? They got guns. They asking for money. What do you do? You do what?
I do whatever I'm trained to do.
No, They don't want to hear that. No,
Huh?
sir. You are in you. It's you, and it's one more person inside the range. It's 8:30, about to close. Two cats run in. They got masks on. They got guns, waving guns. They
Just
screaming.
two?
Just two. They screaming. Where's the money? Where's the money? What do you do? Because see, a lot of people that listen to our show are small business owners. And people don't think about that, man, until things like that happen. And the story that we heard in the intro, that was not a recent story. It came from 2017. But these types of things do happen. So as a small business owner, you know, they want to know, what would we do?
Uh, you gotta protect life, limb, and property, man.
You heard it in the intro. That business owner said he will protect the life of himself, his property, his loved ones. You know, do you exchange fire? Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, it's really not a good. It's really not. I'm trying to find a way to articulate this that doesn't sound so ominous.
Well, listen, man, the reality,
Um,
the reality of the world is this. Bad guys are everywhere. You know, what do you do?
uh, I mean, in that situation, man,
What do you do?
generally, generally, if someone points a gun in my direction,
Okay.
um, it it is the signal to engage.
And what does that mean? Listen, man, you put lipstick on a pig. You know, you don't listen. You ain't got to put lipstick on the pig. What do you do?
Listen, man, you take down the threat. You see what I'm saying? You quickly, swiftly take down the threat, take cover, and ensure that that threat is no longer able to harm you or your loved ones or your personal property.
Correct. So now, don't get me
That
wrong.
was
Within that, we do know that number one, there should be a plan. So, as a small business owner, you know, if you do have employees that work in this facility with you, of course, in some kind of training and introduction to working here or something, you know, you go over emergency situations and what to do. So of course, you know, and then like Uncle Malcolm said, you go with what you're trying to do.
yeah.
Question,
That's
question,
unfortunate, man.
and I'm gonna keep beating you over the head with this. I'm gonna keep making it
Mm,
tough on you. Question:
mm.
when you neutralize this threat, just you know, this is not telling anybody to go out there and do that, but just you. What are you shooting at? Are you shooting at center mass? Are you shooting at somebody's head? What are you shooting at? Remember, this person has a gun pointed at you. Both of them, it's two of them. They got masks on, you cannot see them. They telling you to give them what you have worked hard for. What are you shooting at, Malcolm? Are you shooting at his center mass, at his chest? are you shooting up here?
Um,
What are you trained to do? How about that? Let me ask you this. What are you trained to do?
I'm trained to I'm trained to hit vital areas that disable a threat.
Lipstick on a pig. Chest or head?
In that situation, probably chest.
Okay. I
Because
mean,
you don't have a lot of time to aim. If you aiming at the head, it's a lot smaller target, of
and I
course.
was gonna ask you that. Why you
Uh,
aiming at the chest as opposed to the head? If you're trying to neutralize a threat, hey.
yeah, but I'm not trying to save a hostage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not he's not holding a non-threat in front of him. So
No.
if it's between me and him, and I'm really just trying to put rounds on target. You see what I'm saying? So there's more of a likely chance that I put more rounds on target at a wider center mass than the width of a head, unless he just got a stupid head. You know what I'm saying? If he
Hey,
got
shout out to all the big head people out
right, like if you come in there and you turn sideways, bro,
Bow. You know what I'm
right,
talking
that's
about?
it. I got you.
I feel that, man. That was
But yeah,
tough, though. That was a
you
tough conversation for you, bro.
it is because
Why
that's
is that
the
such a tough conversation for you?
because you never want to. These are regardless of how bad a person is or whatever. I'm not even gonna say the person is bad or what kind of bad actions a person does. If the word neutralize means put down. It can mean anything from from disarm to something fatal. But just to have to harm someone else, even if it's in your defense, is just a tough subject, bro.
Right, and
It's a tough thing to think about, a tough thing to process doing.
and it's funny, man, because you will hear on popular media, rap, on the internet, Instagram, MySpace, Black Planet, all these things,
Say
man.
MySpace.
You will hear people proliferating the fact that they will do this and they will do that.
All the
And it's
time. All you
funny,
got to
man.
do is look at me wrong. Say
Right.
say my name wrong, and
And
and and I'm at your front door.
but being in those types of situations, it's farthest from having those types of reactions,
Yeah,
and it is easily shown by your reluctance to even describe what you would do,
yeah. It's
you know.
tough, man. It's a hard pill to swallow, and it's unfortunate that some people are backed into those corners where you have, no choice. Because again, we talk about confrontation. First rule of confrontation is to avoid.
The first
So
rule of
that's what
confrontation is what?
is to avoid, that,
Well,
and that's what we've been trained to do. So once it escalates to a point where you're unable to avoid and you are so-called backed into a corner and you have to, react, the consequences, it doesn't stop there. You know what I mean? Regardless of whatever you have done to protect yourself, that's still something that you have to live with.
correct, and we have discussed this several times, even on our blog. You can go to the website www.peachstatearmory.com and check out the blog. And to make it even tougher on you, Uncle Malcolm, I got another one. Oh, I got another one. You're a small business owner, so you might be faced with this one day. A store manager got the drop on two alleged criminals in Dublin, Georgia. It's close to home. While the manager was going to his vehicle to retrieve something, two men in their early 20s approached from behind. Brandishing a gun, one of the men demanded that the manager give over his valuables and made him sit in the car. The armed citizen playing along before retrieving a revolver and firing three shots in their direction, hitting one while the other ran away. Both men were eventually caught and charged with armed robbery and aggravated assault. As a small business owner, Uncle Malcolm, you are coming out of Peach State Armory. Two men run up on you. Now, I know you always got it on you.
Better
Hopefully,
believe it.
hopefully it's not a Glock, but listen, whatever you choose to carry is what you choose to carry, but hopefully it ain't a Glock. I told y'all every episode. Anyway, they run up on you. You are armed. They tell you get in the car, but give me everything you got. What do you do?
I think the owner, the business owner, acted appropriately.
What
You
does
know,
Uncle Malcolm do?
well,
Tough on him.
at the point that you had me to give you something, I'm gonna give it to you. You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? But I won't allow myself to be taken to another location in a
Okay,
car
so
or something like that.
let's take it
So
further then. Let's take it further. They tell you to get in the front seat. We're gonna get in, one of us gonna get in the back, the other one's gonna drive. What do you do?
somewhere between me going to that front seat, I'm gonna react.
Okay. And react meaning I can't hear react meaning what?
I'm gonna do what's within my power, the best ability to neutralize the threat.
Oh, okay. Does that mean exchanging fire?
Hopefully, there won't be an exchange.
There you go. Does that mean discharging
It
your
does.
firearm?
It may, depending on how close. You know what I mean? If I'm
Okay.
able to disarm him, if it looks like he got a weak grip or he just holding it with one hand sideways like old dog, you know, or something like that, and he close enough for me to be able to
Speaking
make
of
a,
that,
you
please
know.
do not ever think that it's okay to hold your gun like old dog.
um,
You know,
you'll see all your
that's not
shots
okay.
pulling left or right, guaranteed.
That's not okay. And you
Right.
will probably have slide by it.
Right.
Not
But
okay.
yeah, depending on the situation, man, you know, if I'm able to handle it with, physical combat as opposed to discharging, that'll definitely be my option. But if I'm not close enough or he's not within reach or anything, like that, then you gotta do what you gotta do.
I got a question, and I'm sure a lot of people gonna ask this question. You have the ability to flee, but he does have a firearm pointed in your direction.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I
Do you
don't
flee?
run with a gun pointed at me.
Okay,
The last thing I'm gonna be shot is in my back,
right.
unless it's from somewhere unexpected.
Okay,
I'm never gonna turn my back on the target with a loaded gun pointed in my direction.
I get that. I get that. So you don't flee. So now you are thrust into a situation to where you have to react. What do you rely on?
Training, muscle
Training.
memory.
Yeah. And we get this all the time, and hearing stories like these, it makes people want to automatically go to someone that could react and, if need be, exchange fire with a bad guy. And as with a lot of things and most things in life, if not everything, there's levels to it, and you have to work your way up to do that. So, as a novice shooter, what are some of the things that you can suggest, or shameless plug? What are some of the courses you can suggest that someone could take to start out and just understanding handling of firearms and maybe safety or keeping firearms inside of their home?
That's a good question because we're getting that a lot these days with the climate. So
And he
when
ain't
we
talking about
say
how hot it is.
right, when we say novice, man, uh, the first question I ask somebody is, "What are you planning on doing with this gun
Right.
that you want to buy?" So if you actually want to be able to use it in any form of self defense, you're definitely gonna need a beginner's pistol class, basics of pistol shooting course. Something to teach you the nomenclature, the parts, the moving parts, how to work it, to get you familiar with one, having it in your hands, and also put a couple rounds down range to start on your shooting journey. Home firearm safety is more geared towards gun owners who maybe recently have kids or maybe have someone else living with them or maybe in a different kind of living situation or feel like they're not being as careful with their guns as they can be. It teaches you how to store things like that, does show you manipulation, nomenclature of different guns from pistols all the way to long guns. So to kind of give you a broad overview of firearms in general and how they operate and what you need to do to keep yourself safe. If you're not positive y'all want to be a gun owner, or I think I might want to be a gun owner, I'm not sure, but I'm really just nervous, then I think the Refuse to Be a Victim is a great course for you. It gives you the mindset and attitude to be less of a target for criminals. Because like we say, criminals like water. They find the easiest, the route of least resistance.
Correct.
And if you look like you may be some resistance, then they can pick one of the other, people that's out there instead of preying on you. And I think that mindset and that attitude gives a lot of confidence and carries over into your shooting skills and you carrying a gun. So I think that's a good course for anybody who feel like they may need something for protection, because it starts with an attitude before you even put any kind of firearm or knife or blade or anything in your hand. Attitude is paramount.
And we do offer all of these courses on the website, www.peachstatearmory.com. That was a tough episode for you to describe what you would do in an emergency situation, bro.
It was, bro.
It felt
I'm nervous.
I felt like you was over there cringing, and I felt like you were put in a bad position,
Nervous,
but
bro.
The reality of it is this, and more especially for the industry that we enter, there are bad guys who want to take things all of the time. And facing that reality may be a bleak reality to face, but you may have to face it, and in order for you to develop a plan on how to get out of those situations, you have to think about it, and at some point, it's always, always, always a good idea to have a plan and to rehearse that plan with whomever you're going to be around. What would you do? Like I always tell you, if you ain't got one, you better go get you one. It's the tactical accessory of the day.
That was a grenade. That was a grenade I threw over there. Right. It's the tactical accessory of the day, everybody. No, this is not a shoestring.
Right. What is that?
Although some of my Ranger buddies do use them in their combat boots as shoestrings. So you can do that if you so choose, or if your boots will allow.
Wait, but what?
Right. You ain't know nothing about that. I'll show you that later on.
I've never heard that.
It is.
That's dope.
It is. Army stuff, man. So what this is, guys, is a boar snake. Army, it's called a boar snake, and no, it's not alive. It will not bite. It is to make it simple, it is a quick cleaning tool that I think everybody should have with them at all times when you fire a gun.
Do you have one that fits your Glock?
Of course, this one is this one actually.
Because I know
it has a stamp on it on the brass part of it. I don't know if y'all can see that. It says 35. So 35 caliber, which a 9mm is a 35 caliber.
Ooh, technically. Is that free?
Right. Hey, all the time, man, just dropping jewels on them.
Good night. Yeah.
Anyway, it's stamped for what type of caliber. So this will work on a 22 caliber. I mean, a 35 caliber, which includes 223s, 5.56s, 9mm, 22 calibers. The list goes on. But this is basically the last thing you want to have is an obstruction in the chamber or in your barrel.
Correct.
So after rounds and rounds and rounds, if you're shooting some nasty ammo that produces a lot of
toll ammo.
Yeah, I ain't gonna name no names.
Oh, my fault. Toll ammo, come on, show. Let's talk about ammo. I don't.
So if you're shooting cheap ammo, it's gonna gum your gun up quick. So the more rounds you put down range, if you don't want to have to stop your range activities and go back to the lab, put one of these in your bag. You simply field strip. You drop the brass weighted in, of course, from breech to muzzle. Of course, everything goes in the barrel one direction. We know that, people.
Because I have seen people pull back through while they're cleaning.
Everything through a barrel goes in the direction in which the projectile will travel. Correct. That is from breech to muzzle, front to back, if you point it down range.
Thank you.
So you drop this in, grab the end out of it. The first part is, as you can see, thin as a shoestring. Then it starts to get a little thicker. So this is just a thick nylon kind of weave deal. It actually has, I don't know if you can see these hard parts, but it actually has bristles, which is similar to the cleaning brushes that you use that will come with your gun. So it's got some copper bristles in there, and it still gets.
Glocks come with
They do. Anyway, and
I
it gets
know.
thicker as it goes down. What I do is I like to spray a little ballistol on the back end, stick that through, yank it through a couple times. It's going to scrape.
They need to give you a check, bro.
Listen, man, I love
Ballistol need to
ballistol,
give you a
man.
check,
Straight
bro.
up, it's gonna scrape out your gunk, and then it's gonna wipe it clean and wipe it dry. You run that through a couple more times, put your gun back together, you right back in action. Shout out to Boy Snakes, man. Hoppies make these, and I think it's another brand to make them. I
You
don't buy
pronounce
them.
that like you from across the pond, bro.
Right. I don't buy them, but I do shop with Hoppies, man. So shout out to Hoppies.
I
Boy
promise
Snakes.
you, you don't even look like yourself. That's why when we started, I said, "Boy, who?" I was just, "Oh, have you seen Malcolm?" Anyway,
Right. Who is this guy? Right.
you know, we always got to send some shots down range.
This is a bow. Long distance.
Is a bow technically considered a shot down range?
It is. I
Do
consider
you
them.
shoot a bow?
Yes.
Is
You
that
shoot a
the
crossbow.
terminology?
You shoot a crossbow.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, it's kind of I mean, in a firing range, they have an archery range. So there's some similarity. I mean, it's a projectile going at high round travels of rates of speed from where you're standing to wherever the target is, right?
Right. I give you that.
I mean,
I give you that. We was on shots down range. My bad.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sometimes I.
Right. Today's shots down range go to Zoom, man. This is the platform that we're using right now. If it wasn't for Zoom, then you wouldn't even hear me, guys. Osiris would do all the podcasts by himself.
Straight up.
No Uncle Malcolm.
I promise you that you would not hear Uncle Malcolm, because if it was not for Zoom, boy, we need to get somebody from Zoom to the show.
Straight up.
To say thank you. You need to, because I will record this thing.
Thank you, Zoom, because I would be non-existent. They wouldn't even know who I was if it wasn't for Zoom, because we social distance. So shout out to Zoom, man.
It's coming to an end though, Zoom, but we'll use you once or twice. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm out of town, it's one Z. But
somebody told me it ain't never gonna end, but whatever. I mean, just I think earlier this morning, matter of fact.
Hey man, make sure you go to www.peachstatearmory.com. Check out the course listings. They're filling up quick, and it's only 2 of us, guys. It's only so much of us to go around. Only so much knowledge to go around. Make sure you go to the website, sign up for your next course. I am your boy, Dr. Osiris Carter, and sometimes I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. But I can do that. You understand me? Hey, it changed my life, bro.
Right. I know, man. Never should have watched The Last Dance, man.
It changed my life. Shout out to MJ, man. MJ, you got it, bro.
One time to Scotty, man. They couldn't have did it without you, Scotty. They couldn't have done it without you, Scotty.
People were crying on that,
Straight
man.
Up, man. Straight up. Well, anyway, man, signing off, man. It's your partner, Uncle Malcolm, man. And in some circles, I'm simply known as the Glocksmith.
Man, get out of here, because you need one. Make sure you watch your 6, you stay low, and wash your hands. Also, like the governor said, you got to stay 6 feet apart.
Cheers.
Cheers.